Hello again. So let's talk about cricket. We are in cricket season right now, which in the Caribbean, from what I can tell, is all year round. Caribbean people are cricket people, and Trinis are at the top of that list of fans. Well, this might surprise you, or not, but I am not a fan of the game. Yep, I do not follow cricket. Now, it's not because cricket is too complicated as the Americans would have you believe. Don't mind them. Their national pastime is basically rounders with men in strange pants. The basic objective of the game of cricket is actually pretty simple. Whoever makes more runs wins. So how do you get runs? Well, one team goes into bat while the other bowls and fields. One guy or girl, yes, folks, women play cricket too, bowls the ball and the other one tries to hit it with the bat far enough so that while the guys in the field are running after it, he can run back and forth a couple of times. If it goes as far as the end of the field, the boundary, he gets 4 runs without having to go anywhere. And if it goes even further than that, he gets 6 runs without having to go anywhere. The guy bowling the ball is trying to hit those stumps behind the batsman. And if he does, the batter is out. He can also hit the stumps with the ball while the other batter is still running, and then he would also be out. I see that these days, those stumps light up when they get hit, so you don't have to wonder if the batter is out or not. If the ball is hit and one of the guys fielding catches it before it touches the ground, again, the batsman has to go. And basically that's it. Of course, they've added all sorts of weird terms to make things more exciting, words like silly, mid-on and googly, and extra supplementary rules to make it seem more interesting or complex. But that is the basic premise. Not all that complicated. Now, I'm not even going to try to discuss that whole Duckworth thing that comes in when the game has to be shortened. That thing makes my head hurt. No, the reason I'm not a cricket fan is because I didn't grow up with one-day or T20 cricket, which I concede can sometimes be quite interesting, at least like in the last hour or so. No, I grew up with Test cricket. And let me tell you, Test cricket is boring. Yeah, I said it. For one thing, it lasts for days. What kind of a game lasts days? And they stop for lunch, and then again for tea. For tea, you know. A good friend of mine was a big Test cricket fan. Once a game was on, she was there. And she would always take a book with her. Now, if I am going to see a game and I have to take a book to read to get through the day, I'm staying in my house. And while she was reading, did she miss any action? No, she did not. You know why? Because there was nothing happening. I even saw people playing cards. Why would I pay money to go and sit in the oval and play cards? In the old days, Test cricket fans also took little radios with them so that they could listen to someone tell them what was going on while they were sitting there watching it happen. I'm not going to try to wrap my mind around that. So early on, I decided cricket was not the game for me. Now I concede that with the shortened game, things are a bit more exciting. But I will say that the few times that I have attended a cricket match under duress, it didn't seem like the majority of people there were really paying that much attention. When someone got 4 or 6 runs, everyone would hold up their little cards with the numbers on it, the DJ would play and everybody would take a little wine. But in Trinidad at least, it seems to be as much about the lime and the bacchanal as about the cricket. When I was younger, there was a stand in the Oval for cricket called the Trini Posse stand. Now, the Trinity stand was basically an all-inclusive day fete that took place while a game of cricket happened to be going on in the same place at the same time. Yes, there were people there for the cricket, but I don't think they were in the majority. Those were the early days of the Carib girls as cheerleaders and rhythm section and DJ music. There was food and seemingly endless supply of alcohol. On one of my visits, it rained. Oh, did I mention that if it rains, all cricket stops? Yes, that is another fun fact about cricket. It can only be played on dry days. So this day, the rains came and never stopped until late afternoon. So the game was called off. The people in the other stands got refunds because there was no cricket. But because when you bought your ticket for the Trinity stand, you were also paying for food and drink, there were no refunds to be had. So everyone stayed and partied in the rain. There has not been such drunkenness and debauchery since the ancient Roman Empire. The DJ kept playing and no one seemed to care that there was no cricket to watch. And they stayed well into the evening. And then there are the characters. Cricket seems to bring them out of the woodwork. People who dress up in all manner of outfits, not all of which are in any way related to cricket. I recently discovered, though, that showing up in some kind of creation these days can get you a big check for US dollars. One woman got 5,000 US. So I guess for that money, I too would consider leaving my house dressed like a ballet queen and with 2 hand puppets in my back pockets. Hey, man's gotta live, right? Thing is, though, when people first started wearing the costumes to the game, a few minutes on camera was all they had to gain for doing it. Yeah, they wore those get-ups for free, with nothing to gain. Cricket fans, I have to say, I just don't get it. I know by now some of you are sticking pins into a doll with my face on it. Sorry guys, I calls it as I sees it. But if you love you some cricket, hey, enjoy. Me, I'll stick to football and any sport that is being played at the Olympics. Probably even cricket if it gets into the next one. Anyway, thanks for listening. And until next time, I'm just saying.